Okay, I am joined by Richard Elwell this morning from Elbury Design. So, Richard, I'll hand over to you if you'd like to tell us a bit about your business, how long you've been running for, and what it is that you offer.
Right, so we're a graphic design, web design, brand consultancy. We create sort of effective dynamic design solutions for a variety of clients. We set up Elbury Design back in 2006.
Oh, wow.
Previous to that, I was a senior designer for 13, 14 years for various companies in the Southwest. What was the other question, sorry?
Yeah, just so the services you offer, and any particular, I guess, industries that you work with? Is it quite sort of varied? But you cover?
It's really varied, and that's what makes it nice on my, enjoyable, because it's so varied. We do work with like one-man bands, but we also work with international PLC companies. We just finished a website for a courts court that's sort of based in North Carolina. That's been really interesting in the fact that we can do the work in the day. They're 6 hours behind. So effectively, it's productive because we're doing the work in the day. We send them an email at the end of the day, say, right, we've done this, this, and this. Then they can review it through their working day, and then they
fantastic.
Email me next morning, come in, and there's no dead time effectively. So that's been a happy coincidence because we didn't sort of plan on any of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so really varied from shops in Truro, and then obviously we work with training companies up country, London, and really varied.
Okay, are they most of your clients predominantly in Cornwall, or is that sort of the percentage?
I'd say probably 50% are in Cornwall.
Okay, yeah.
And then the rest are either out of county and so 1 or 2 international.
Yeah. So do you have so your clients that you work with, are they sort of repeat clients, or do you get quite a lot of just one-off jobs? Or
tend to be repeat, and that's what we'd like, because we get to know the client then, and we feel we can work better on that. The better we know the client, the more we can understand the ways they think and what they're trying to get across. So that's we do an occasional one-off thing, but that is so rare in the 14 years or whatever we've been going.
Okay, sure.
That is quite rare. They normally come back for more, so
that's good.
we must be doing something right.
Absolutely. And then you say you started the business in 2006, so by the time COVID came around and the pandemic, you're a very well established company. How did what sort of effects did that have on yourself and the team?
Well, as I said, we've always looked to go out of county anyway, and I think that's honed our services. Previously, we used to occasionally drive up country and that, but with the sort of advent of FaceTime and Zoom, Teams and whatever, it really helped us sort of tune in with our clients, if our existing or new clients, to get to know them through face-to-face meetings rather than sort of being emails and phone calls and that. I think once you've established that face-to-face, then I'd say probably at 90% of our communication through email nowadays.
Yeah, you almost get a good relationship up and running then, and you can take it virtual. Yeah,
exactly.
Did you have to stop working because of COVID? Did you have to shut down, or were you able to keep some work going?
We was able to keep work going. We worked all the way through. Awesome. I mean, I think there was about 3 months of, was it the first or second shutdown, that it went really quiet, and I was getting concerned. But then I think by that stage, companies were starting to think, actually, we're not going to stop. It's going to carry on, and we've got to look forward. And we've got to have our branding right, or whatever, we've still got to carry on advertising, and so that's where they come to us.
Yeah, awesome. So then yourself as the business owner, is it just yourself, or do you have any other partners alongside you?
We have partners, so we use freelance designers occasionally, and illustrators. We've got and photographers. I mean, we do some photography. I do some photography ourselves, but I prefer to actually work as an art director and go out with different photographers.
Yeah.
But we've got a sort of handful of designers and illustrators that we call on if that particular style is needed.
Yeah.
And what we also did, and because of the pandemic, was we'd said previously to the pandemic, we used to sort of go outsource HTML coding and the construction websites. We'd design a website, then we'd get another company to actually build it. Because of the pandemic, we invested on learning, bought certain software, and with the help of a one-man band or a couple of people we know that learned basically how to do the whole service ourselves.
Okay, so you took that in-house.
So any websites we do now, it's 100% Elbury design. That's really nice because we've got control of that now. I think previously we would design something and we'd be constantly nagging the other person at the other end.
Yeah.
Can we just have it like this and have it like that? And it is, well, it used to be so hard to get websites to look how you want them, but now with the software we've sort of invested in, you have got that control.
Oh, great.
But I've always felt previously that when you hadn't got that control over a website.
Yeah.
I always described it as you're trying to paint with a 6-foot-long brush, compared with actually design for a magazine or for a brochure or something like that, or a poster where you've got ultimate control. But web is slowly going that way. You've obviously got to deal with the different mediums. You've got your phone. How you see it on your phone is not how it's going to look on your iPad or on
I always find that really interesting. People sort of build a website through a computer, but actually I have no idea what it is, but I presume that more people look
probably
at
about
it on a phone.
60%, or if not higher, are looking, that they've got that, doing this. And then some people even do that, and that's really annoying if they do that.
I haven't formulated that. Oh, that's great.
Exactly.
That's a new service then, which you can now offer, which must be
great.
Yeah.
So we everything we do, I literally have my phone, my iPad, and obviously I'm working on it, and it's constantly, and you just think that what looks great on the computer just doesn't communicate the message on your phone. So you think, right, okay, we'll leave that design on the computer, but we'll change it totally for the phone. So I've got websites where if you look at the two side by side, they are quite different, but it's working for that medium.
Interesting. And I guess the first sort of thing that people do now is just, I mean, I'm quite guilty of it. If I'm looking at a website, I'll find their social media and I'll almost go on to that before I even look at their website.
And that's changing every day, isn't it? And so we've had to sort of obviously take that on board, and how people are going to come across the services of your clients. So that is interesting. You go to their Facebook or their Instagram before you go to
Instagram first.
Instagram, I prefer Instagram. I'm not quite TikTok yet.
No, I'm not. You're all right. You've got the green card on that. Fantastic. Then sort of back to yourself as a business owner. Are there any sort of main obstacles or hurdles that you've had to overcome in your journey so far?
I think not obstacles. I think the biggest thing I think I've learned through having my own business is how people are so different, and how to approach them, how to communicate with them best. And I think when I first started, you'd be talking to somebody, or they'd send you an email, and it's like, I haven't got a clue what they're talking about.
Sure.
But it's just they're just different personality styles and how they communicate. And we've just done quite a bit of training on how to not deal, but how to understand and how to communicate better with those people. And that's been great. It's made it so much easier to understand. Oh, you think, oh Christ, they're I don't want to put a bracket, but a blue person, that they're a detailed person, or they're sunshiny yellow, or whatever. And you get to understand those people, the different type of people. And it sounds like I'm putting them under brackets, but it's not.
No, I completely agree. We actually use something similar with Action Coach. We call it a disc profile. And you can almost pick up the phone and you can tell
insights and whatever.
Yeah. You can tell the person straight away, even from how they've answered the phone, or how they convey.
You can.
Which is interesting.
It's incredible, and that's been a godsend, basically.
Oh, fantastic! Yeah, that's good. And then was that through some additional sort of training that you had with the business, or?
Yes, yeah.
It's good. Something you probably, I guess, wouldn't have considered, but then when it sort of gets put in front of you, then you realise, oh, actually, where's this been all my years?
It's probably skeptical. I was probably skeptical about it, but couldn't believe the difference it made once you actually got on board and sort of took it on board. And I think through that learning, I learned a great lesson. And this is going away from graphic design. I learned a great lesson years ago, the first time I went snowboarding. And I'd always surfed and skateboarded and done canoeing. I've always been a sporty person, and I'd never had a lesson in anything in life. I thought, like, no, I can do this. And I went snowboarding for the first year, didn't have a lesson. Oh, my body was killing every day, every night. You think, oh God, this is hurting so much. And then the next year I went, and a friend of mine who lives now in Australia, he persuaded me to have lessons each day, so each morning. And it was like an eye-opener. Oh my God, I'm not hurting each day. And from that point, I've had lessons in everything. So I'll have lessons in tennis now and squash and different sports. But that has come through into work now. So I'm happy to have lessons how to do whatever. I'm not going to be pig-headed and say, oh, I'm not going to do that. I'll just figure it out myself.
No, of course. I think it's very good to be open-minded, because I think there's, as business owners, sort of taking the round, but actually there's a lot more to discover and a lot to sort of broaden the horizons for yourselves.
Yeah, definitely. And that's, from the companies I work with, like the phone shop in Truro, Phone Tech, that's a very young client, and a lot of their clients are young as well, so you've got to think in their mindset. And it's sort of learning the different ways, whatever.
Fantastic. And then where do you say 2006, I'm trying to think 5 years from now, but where do you sort of see the business going in 5 years from now? What are your aspirations?
Aspirations wise, I think to carry on as we are, but to grow and to entrench ourselves into more businesses and help businesses along, and see the businesses we were at the moment grow. And we've seen that over the years, and it's really nice to see from meeting somebody in a pub and they're talking about an idea, and then helping that idea flourish, and then watching them grow. And that's really rewarding, and just seeing that happen time and time again.
Yeah, fantastic.
And hopefully can keep doing that.
Yep. And then sort of looking back to an 18-year-old Richard, I guess, did you always think that you were going to have your own business? Are there any words of wisdom that you would say to anybody that was thinking about going at it alone?
I probably didn't know. My dad was a lecturer at college, and very practically minded. But I went into architecture. I spent like 11 years in architecture before I went into graphic design. So from an 18-year-old, my mindset was so different to where it is now. I would say to any 18-year-old, aspire to have your own business.
Absolutely.
Don't work for, you can't say the man anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
Person.
Yeah.
Always, yeah. And that's what I hope my son, who's 21, I'd love him to sort of start his own business. I don't know what and what area, but that's, do your own thing. Don't be afraid. Just
Fantastic.
go for it.
Cool. Nice to hear. Nice positive affirmations, which are good.
Yeah.